when I was a lad, I thought things were pretty good, and I liked my teachings from school. In fact, when the actual leaves fell off in autumn, I still thought things were quite rosy. However, a few things did change. I still love to ride my BMX, that never changed. But what did change is I learnt more things, things I hadn't learnt from school, like this guy, Mr. Picard. Now, he was an absolute lunatic by all accounts going on this picture. Please pause it, don't just look at the image. And he went very high indeed, you know, and he thought it was a big flat disc. Now, here's another picture, 15 years later, still pretty flat, I think. And here is another Picard. This is the one that most people know, and he's a bit of a turd really, because he doesn't think the world's flat. He flies around in a flat disc. And look, there's the sun and the moon, maybe. Probably just Hollywood and all that sort of stuff, eh? But sometimes things aren't quite what they seem. Here's my lovely bean plant that I got for a Christmas present. It's beautiful. Look at the coving on the left. Indeed, it was filmed in a room. Anyway, I decided to go for a little ride on my bike and think about great stuff like NASA. Now, NASA indeed, they were very good friends with Walt Disney. In fact, here's some astronauts and Mickey and Minnie Mouse. And there's Walt Disney touching something with some guy from NASA. Here's a wonderful image. They don't teach you this at school. Have a little look, have a little pause, have a little think. It's pretty much in plain sight. And here's a jolly good one for you. If you get the snake tongue, turn it into a T. NASA as an anagram is Satan. And look at the Hebrew above it. You might have to rewind it there because now onto a different scene. And I do apologise about that, but you do have to keep up. Now next we're going to look at a gentleman sticking his tongue out. And I don't know whether he's doing that to us or maybe it's like I don't know, some other strange, weird sort of thing. I don't know. Well, I know a little bit about it. But here's Tesla, and he's very nice. And here's Thomas Edison, and he's a bit of a turd. Please pause and read. So I'd be a little bit wary about what they teach you at school, because it seems they teach you a lot about bad eggs. And the good ones, they just brush under the carpet. They couldn't really care less, I don't think. Or maybe it's that they care a great deal, and they don't want you to learn the sort of teachings from this extremely intelligent man. So that's probably another reason to try to sort of fob him off as just a turd. But he's not. He was really good. In fact, he died very poor, and he gave away 700 patents to the USA, and I don't know if they know what's happened to them. I think they lost them, so that was a bit of a shame. I guess we all lose things sometimes. But, you know, the main thing I'm sort of thinking about is you get your different levels, your sea, your sky and your earth, and there's the horizon in the middle. And then, boom, from out of nowhere, and it's the only image NASA have provided, you get Earth, and there it is. But I can't understand why they can't maybe try to film the in-between moment so we can see the horizon drop away. I mean, there are probably cameras out there that can do that. I know humans are flesh and blood, but come on, put a camera somewhere on that craft and, you know, maybe you can shut people like me up. I mean, how hard can it be to film a continuous shot from, you know, Earth to the space station? It can't be that hard. I mean, really, here's Henry Ford. I mean, he liked cars, and he done pretty well, actually. Here he is on a car, and it's quite a crusty looking thing, but back then it was very modern. And I'll tell you what, he wasn't too worried about explaining how cars worked. In fact, he really loved his cars, and he wanted people to know how good they were. So he sort of let people know, you know, it does this and it does that, and this bit does this bit. Like this picture here means not much to me, but to a mechanic, they could probably understand some of the mechanics behind it. So, you know, it's nice to be told how something works. However, after spending billions in taxpayers' money, they don't really say a great deal about these things, satellites. I mean, look at it. I mean, what was that? I'm trying to work it out here, and so as I went on a bike ride, I was very confused. I mean, my bike is sturdy. Look at that. You know, it works on concrete and grass. And a satellite, I'd assume, would have to be rather sturdy. Look at these boffins who helped design satellites. They're very clever. But for goodness sake, why no sort of instructions, or you never see a video of how it's made properly? I know they use a lot of this stuff, and it's some, you know, gold as well, because that's probably better for being in space. But there's not a great deal of information out there whatsoever on satellites. You know, when they fall out of the sky, they don't hit nothing. And when you see the actual live feed, you know, you don't see any of them up there from the International Space Station. You don't see any. You know, that's absolutely crazy. I mean, I've got some ideas how they make them, of course. And I'd imagine, apart from a good hammer, most of that is done through their own imagination. And they kind of just sort of like say, oh yeah, look how good this is. It's like got gold tin foil on it, so it's really good, and it's going to last for so long, and it's really sturdy. But that's all we're going to tell you, really. We don't want to tell you anything else because it's very scientific and you wouldn't understand it. I mean, you're not a rocket scientist, are you? So, you know, they were just a few sort of passing views as I was riding my bike and breaking my camera, really. But I'm not too sure I believe in this at all. You know, I think it's a load of poo. I'm kind of into this. This seems a lot more feasible in my mind, and this looks a lot cooler as well and makes us pretty small and pretty special. So, thank you very much for having me. Please look for the coven in the top left corner of the room, or the right on this one, and it's been an absolute honour. Keep safe, God bless, goodbye for now.
Well, to discuss that, I'm now joined by Egypt's former foreign minister, Nabil Fahmy. Mr. Fahmy, thank you very much for your time. It's great to see you in Moscow again.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.